Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, good day, wherever you at. We are welcoming you to our afternoon and to this lovely space that we have here today. One of the things that we try to do is we bring interesting people here doing interesting things. This guy right here does interesting things with a company that does interesting things, a nonprofit company at that. We have Mr. Joseph Townsend here, who is the Director of Development for Habitat for the Humanities. How we doing over there?
I'm doing well.
That is great to hear. One of the things that we try to do as well, one of the things we like doing is giving people an opportunity to talk a little bit about themselves before we get into all of the things that you do, because as a person in your position, you do some stuff. And we want to make sure that people know about it.
Oh, good.
All right. So we're going to talk a little bit about Joseph the person. What brought you to Habitat for the Humanities, and what molded you to even want to apply for something like that?
So I grew up in a low-income single-parent family, and we got help with housing and medical care sometimes, and food sometimes, and it played a major role in helping us thrive as a family, so that we could get that hand up, so that we could move forward in life. And eventually, I got a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, and so what I wanted to do was kind of give back, to provide that uplift for other people, to help them move forward and help them thrive.
So that's been your character building, not just employment building. That's just who you became to be.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I think that would be a safe thing to say. So I actually got my master's in executive development for public service.
Okay.
So all the way back before I even thought about Habitat specifically, I was looking
to be a service to the public.
Right, in nonprofit work specifically.
Okay. Wow, that's incredible, because sometimes people don't even know what their mission is. I had a similar, when you do your mission statements, like when you come out of college and you have all of this idealistic goals or whatever.
Sure.
Mine was to inform communities about services that they don't know about but they need. And I'm like,
that's important.
Yeah,
it is.
But I didn't realize that until I was like 20 something, because I was out of school. But I didn't realize all of those years that we were in this situation. You know, they call it like empowerment zones or something like that. But that just means you in the hood.
Sure.
The empowerment is because they want to redevelop, because there's some deficiencies, and you don't realize how many or how much you're deficient until you come out of them. And then you see what everything else is in the world. For you, was there revelation like, you know what? After you got out of school, you want to target the nonprofit world. Was there like that one thing in that world that you gravitated? It's like, yes, now my mission is like, it's came into focus.
Well, I was very much interested in a variety of things, but housing was definitely up there.
Okay.
It's not where I started in nonprofit work, but that after school. But that is that was a big part of it. And I was concerned about, I'd be walking down a city street, and I would see individuals who were homeless. Right. And I'm just not only just feeling the emotion of seeing these individuals struggling with life, just the most basic thing. You go have a bad day at work, you go home. Yeah. Right? You have a good day at work, you go home. Yeah. Right? It's safe, it keeps you from bad weather, it keeps you warm, and it's a place where you can comfortably sleep and eat and be yourself. And these people didn't have that. And I would think about that. And then add to that my personal Christian faith. I was very I knew that I felt that I had a calling in doing the kind
that
of work.
service,
Yes.
the purposefulness service.
Right. Yes.
And that sometimes is a revelation that you get in the service, that you were meant to do this work.
Right.
And for you were kind of going in that direction, became a person in this purposeful work, and now you're going and developing as a director with Habitat for the Humanities.
Yes. Development Director.
So let's talk a little bit about the Habitat and some of the things that they have done. One of the things I've seen is that you target kind of specifically veterans, one set, and women with children as another set. Like, in your world or your time with Habitat for Humanities, can you share us a story about either one, and then we'll talk about the backdoor stuff, like how do people get involved, how do, all the mechanisms that goes
Sure.
about getting involved with this application process type of thing.
So, an individual story?
Yes,
or a
your
story
thing,
Oh,
your
my
story,
thing.
whatever you came across. Like, you could have read something on one of your
Okay.
things that come across your desk, and you seen
Sure.
something, and you was like,
Okay.
I know this is why I'm here.
Okay. Well, there's multiple families who, I read the stories and share them on a regular basis
Okay.
of, single moms who are struggling to have that safe home. They have 5 kids and they have 2 bedrooms, right?
Right.
And they're not able. There's no space for everybody, and they don't
Right.
have a yard, and they don't have the things
That you would think
that
you would want.
for 5
Yes,
kids
right.
and a mother, right? And so we've had multiple scenarios like that, where individuals needed affordable and safe housing, and they reached out to us. In some cases, they thought they could never. I don't know how many times I've heard this. I thought I would never be able to afford to have a home of my own that I would own, that it's mine,
Right.
it's my family's home, and instead of renting.
Right.
And they would have their own home, and it would be safe and affordable for years to come, and give them financial security. Well, I've heard it many, many, many times at this point. Many cases they didn't think it was possible, and someone talked to them and said, "Well, why don't you try for Habitat?" I don't know, maybe.
Right,
And then eventually they do it, and then they are surprised when we call
When
them
it
up.
happens,
Right?
yeah. Right,
So-
and that's so beautiful feeling. It must be a beautiful feeling when you
Sure.
get that call.
Right.
It's like that Oprah, like, you get a call, you get that call, and you're just like, wow, this is it.
Sure.
So now let's talk a little bit about the process of becoming involved. First, let the people know the handles, the social media, the website. How do people get in touch with Habitat for Humanities?
Sure. So you can reach us at our website at www.habitatmwgw.org. So it's Metro West Greater Worcester.org. And if you go onto that website, you can read about the organization. You can also read about the different programs. So, for example, if you are looking at the possibility of getting a home for someone, then or home for yourself, for your family, then you can go to that website, and there's a home ownership eligibility, and there's an application there on that string of drop downs. And then if you go into programs, you can see the home repair program. So we also have a home repair program where we repair homes to make them safe, and we make them affordable. And many times it's seniors who have bought a home years ago when they had an income, and then they retired, and now they don't really have the income to
But
be
they
able to
need to
afford to stay in
maintain the
their home.
house. Yeah.
So we do a lot of home repairs for people. About over 90% of our home repairs are for seniors. And then We also have our Operation Playhouse program, where we build playhouses for veteran kids. And so if you are a veteran, or you know someone who is a veteran or current military family who has children or grandchildren who would like a playhouse, please go to our website, and we might be able to arrange that for you.
There's an application process on the website.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's an interest form on the website.
Okay.
And then we get back
To the person.
We get back
and
to the
then-
person. Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. A playhouse. All right.
Yeah.
Something to do outside besides gardening.
Sure. Yeah. And then we have our 2 restores. We have a restore in Worcester,
Okay.
and we have a restore in Ashland, and that is where we sell gently used and newly donated home goods, furniture, hardware, sometimes office equipment,
Oh, wow.
sometimes paint, decorations, dishes.
So when it says
Quite a bit.
restore, it means really restoring.
Right. And it's not just used materials. This is something a lot of people don't realize, is at our restore we also receive corporate donations. So there are furniture vendors,
Oh.
furniture companies who will give us new furniture,
Come out with a dresser, a cabinet, or some.
couch, a chair.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Brand
That's
new
good.
ones.
That's
So-
good.
And the money raised from these sales
Yep.
then go to help us build affordable homes for low to moderate income families.
Wow. And say the places again where the people can go. You said one is in Worcester.
Right, yeah, it's 640 Lincoln Street,
Okay.
and the other one is in Ashland at 310 Pond Street.
All right. So those people in the Commonwealth, within the sounds of our voice, if this is something that you're interested in, this is an opportunity to become involved. There's an interest form on the website for people to get involved with, so that way you can check it out, see what's going on with it. And we have more things that go on with Habitat for Humanities too. So
sure.
Talk a little bit more about some of the interesting things that happen over there.
Okay, so we build affordable homes, and so we built 61 since 1985. This will be our 40th year. Actually, on Thursday we
Okay.
have 2 homes. We have one home where we have a dedication ceremony at 38 Etna Street at 4:30 p.m. If you want to come by and enjoy. Just please RSVP us. Send an email to Deborah Hegel, DEBORAH.HUEGEL at habitatmwgw.org, and send her an email and RSVP if you want to do that. We also have.
And this is April 30th.
Yeah,
Okay.
May 1st.
May 1st.
May
Okay,
1st, so it's
May 1st.
Thursday. Thursday,
Okay,
yeah.
May 1st. All
Yeah.
right.
And then we have another one in Worcester at 3:30. That's a groundbreaking.
Oh,
And
so you're
that'll be
gonna be
happening at
doing a
33
new home.
Ripley. So
All
that's the
right.
beginning of a new home. But we are in the process currently of building 5. We're building 5 homes right now. We have 2 that we just recently completed, and they haven't closed yet. And then we have 6 homes that we built in the last fiscal year as of June 30th, 2024.
Yep.
And then we have about 10 homes right now that we're looking at. And several of those are in Worcester. So for example, we've done 61 homes through the years, and 30 of those are in Worcester. Now, one of the exciting things, you can see those numbers that we're telling you in comparison to the 61, it seems to be, we're building up.
Right,
and that
right.
is exactly what we're doing. We're growing.
Mhm.
So we have a goal right now. We're in a strategic plan right now for 3 years of building 30 affordable homes
In 3
in
years.
3 years,
Woo!
and repairing 36 more in that same 3 years.
Wow.
So-
What kind of support do you get from the landlords? Do you get landlords that come to you, or is it just homeowners? Like people that just like, you know what, I need help. You know, I'm 70 years old versus, you know, I just bought this 3-decker and I'm trying to make some money off of it, and I need somebody to help me repair some of this stuff.
Okay, So for the home repairs, it's anybody who has an income between the range of 30 to 80% of the area median income. And if you
Okay.
go on our website, there's a chart because it varies depending on how many people live in your home
Okay.
as to what your income for qualification for home repairs. You have to own the home.
Okay.
And then as far as home ownership, you go on our website, fill out an interest form, and when a home becomes available, then we would let you know, and you can apply for that home.
And that's the application process.
That's the application process.
Okay.
And the income is 30 to 60% of area median income for affordable homes.
Okay. So is some math calculations that on the website to help you in this determination.
Yes.
So don't get overwhelmed when you
All
hear
right,
us
sorry,
talking
numbers.
about it right now.
Okay.
There's an opportunity for you to learn more about this and then to help somebody else if you don't actually eligible. If you're not eligible for it, you can learn about it and help others who may be eligible. So that's a thing too. So don't think information that is for you and it's not being used by you was totally neglected. It prevents you from being ignorant, and it also helps you help somebody else from being ignorant. So that's the best thing about learning. That's your takeaway for today. Take that away, people in the audience. So go ahead, talk a little bit more about some of the things that, because we're talking about this metro area of Worcester and the surrounding areas.
Right.
Is there collaborations that you do with other places, other habitats for humanities across the nation?
Sure. So well, we have a relationship with Habitat for Humanity International. So
Okay.
we partner with Habitat for Humanity International.
Okay.
We're Habitat for Humanity Metro West, Greater Worcester. There are 16 affiliates within the state of Massachusetts, and
Okay.
all the executive directors get together, I think, once a month, and they discuss ways that they can
Wow,
work together.
that's a lot. That's often.
They've had meetings with the governor to discuss housing policy and the ways that the governor and the state government can support affordable housing production within Massachusetts. And sometimes we share materials.
Wow.
If there are people who need assistance and they contact one of us and it's not their service area, they will refer them to the right service area.
That helps.
So those are some of the things that we're doing with the different affiliates. Now with Habitat for Humanity International, they help us get some nationwide grants. So for example, we recently received a grant from Home Depot Foundation, but sometimes we get grants from Lowe's Foundation, sometimes we have a relationship through Habitat for Humanity International with Owens Corning, and they sometimes will help us build roofs for free for veteran families.
Wow.
That is.
Does it surprise
and
you on
that's
the
largely-
amount of people that give to you guys? Is there something that surprises you, or you not surprised?
Well, I mean, in some ways I am, in some ways I'm not, right?
Okay.
In the way I'm not is because I know that we're doing good work. We're helping a lot of people, and people believe in the work that we're doing.
Right.
And so, I mean, I run into people all the time telling us how wonderful the work we do, and thank you for doing this work. And,
Right.
and so, in that sense, no, I'm not surprised.
Okay.
But I am a little really surprised sometimes where I just see donations coming in the database of donations, and it's just from people never heard of, and people sometimes from other states.
Yeah.
Right, and they're just sending the money, and we know we're just learning of these people just now.
Right.
as they're
They're
giving us
coming
money,
in,
right?
and this is your first introduction to them.
Right.
In a check.
Yeah, right. So that's surprising.
You're right.
And that happens quite a bit, actually.
But that's a good surprise then.
It is.
It's not a
yes.
bad surprise. It's
Yeah.
pretty good. Now, the idea of the eligibility piece, that's something that is processed in as a formula that there's something that you have to put in, and you become eligible according to these different things.
Sure.
Direct people again to this website where they can get this
Sure.
application
So
and learn about their
Go
eligibility.
to www.habitatmwgw.org, and that will show you that will give you the lowdown of all the different programs. It will show you a lot of information about the organization, about ways you can contribute,
Right.
and the ways you can volunteer. So there are a lot of volunteer opportunities,
Okay.
right? So you can volunteer on build sites. We have people who come in, several of them are retired individuals, but you don't have to be a retired individual, who come on a regular basis to help us build these homes. That's also one of the ways we keep the cost
Right.
down.
Right. The labor.
Right. So we have lots of volunteers. We have over 5,000 volunteers, just our affiliate,
Wow.
every year. So that
helps.
That helps. Yes.
Yeah.
We have the restores. We have people come in all the time. We have volunteers there every day in the restores. With our Operation Playhouse program, we're always looking for Playhouse captains. And what those individuals so what happens with Playhouse is we get sponsors.
Okay.
So we get teams of sponsored teams from companies or